How are we starting this episode?
We were gonna talk about how we worked out.
No, but I mean like
And
how we're gonna start it. Yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to the
the
Essential
Essential
Podcast.
Podcast.
There is no guest this week, unfortunately. Last week we had Mr. Rhodes, our manager, as our guest.
We didn't want to
Uh,
be here today.
my plan is every other week I'm gonna see if I can get a guest on for the show. But in any case, you got the two of us today, which you've already
Okay.
handled 6 episodes. To
Yeah,
my
we should be
knowledge, I
good
think this is episode 8 of the Essential Podcast.
enough. Eight. I
So,
can. I can.
so we're getting close to double digits, but we got time.
We do got some time.
All right. So, speaking of Mr. Rhodes,
Yeah,
since
this
he
would
was
be
brought up,
eight.
uh, Mr. Rhodes is part of a group of very weird individuals, Noah,
What do you mean?
including us, of course. Like it's not that
Oh
we're
yeah.
not weird, but he also has very weird friends. Specifically, apparently once a year, they just meet up at one of their houses, get 2 pairs of boxing gloves, gets 2 things of headgear, and then they basically just have a tournament and they just beat the shit out of each other. Like it's a boxing match, but it's in like a basement with
Oh.
and not in a ring, and they just
See, I legit thought that he actually joined a boxing.
no. But I guess this is like their 3rd year doing it, and literally they just wail on people. Like I've seen videos of the fights, but basically like from what I saw, it was just Kyle fighting this one guy, and just like wailing on him. It was really funny.
He's got long arms.
Yes.
He's got really long.
So,
As you can see in the photos.
he's a very tall man.
He's a very tall man.
Kyle now has his fight coming up at the end of July. And he's fighting a guy, my friend Ben Wistow. And he has a 2-0 record. So he's had 2 fights, and he's won both of them. I don't know how. I mean, he's a strong boy, but I don't know how he won, because apparently one of the people he fought was like almost like a half a foot taller than him.
Well, he's probably got to have some more stamina.
Exactly. So, but he was a little
Smart.
bit scared because Ben Wistow, he's not as I think he's closer to my height than he is to Kyle's height. But
Okay.
he's a man that works out. I've met his brother. His brother really works out, and they're really beefy boys. So Kyle didn't want to break his 2-0 record. He wanted to go 3-0. So he was like, I gotta start going to the gym. And I was like, well, I watch a couple things about boxing. I like to do some research about boxing, so why don't I help you? So for the last, this is day number 3, but for the last 3 days, me and Mr. Rhodes have been going to the gym. And you know who else has been going to the gym?
Who?
You!
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, to the viewers out there, me and Mr. Rhodes began going to the gym on Monday. Noah found out that Monday and was like, all right, I'm coming too.
Yeah.
So we have been going to the gym basically every day. We skipped one day this week because we all couldn't meet up for whatever reason. But
I still went to the
you
gym.
did go to the gym. I just stayed home and did push-ups, and I also was dying. But
Yeah.
we've been going every day to the gym to get shredded.
3-hour session today for me.
It was
3
for
hour
you.
session.
Yeah, we did only an hour session. You've been fucking killing yourself.
I won't regret it. That's for sure.
You'll regret it
probably
tomorrow,
regret it.
but
Yeah, tomorrow
but in
I'll
the
definitely
future you
regret it.
won't.
Yeah, no, it won't.
Um,
It,
yeah, I'm actually very excited. Basically, we're just gonna because I always wanted to work out. Only one other time in my life did I have the commitment to work out this much, but just life stuff happened and I couldn't do it.
how do you feel? Like, how do you feel working
Now?
out right now?
Are you asking me now?
Yeah.
I feel like absolute shit. I ate dinner and I ate too fast. I've had migraines all day because I haven't drank enough water.
And
So
gotta chug that water.
I have my goddamn gallon right here, and I've been trying to go through it, but there's so much water.
Keep drinking it, dog.
And as of now, I feel like shit. But I feel way better than I did yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't move.
Yeah, yesterday I couldn't. Move as well.
Everything on my body, excluding my head and my feet, was sore. My lower back was basically felt like it was broken. My stomach, because we did core a day before that, was just horrible. Everything about my body was sore, and I couldn't
I'll be doing
move.
core tomorrow.
I couldn't move. I could barely lay down. It was horrible. But I'm not sore anymore. Like, I have small things of soreness. My arms are going to be very sore tomorrow morning because it was big arm day today. But I don't feel anything right now. My legs only feel sore if I really push on them. And nothing, my back doesn't hurt anymore, which I'm so happy about.
Yeah, that's a good relief.
I know. Other than that, my stomach feels like shit because I ate too fast. And, like, I just feel like shit. But
I took a nap today.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was up at 4:30.
You did.
And I didn't go to bed until like midnight 30. So I was really trying not to take a nap, and then once I sat down on my bed, I was done for.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I was like, and I didn't have the only caffeine I had today was my pre-workout, and that was at like 4:45 ish. So,
but I'm ecstatic. I feel really good. Like, even though I feel like shit right now, I if I can do this for a month, I know I'm gonna be happy, and I'm happy that I'm doing it because it's never like I was overweight. It's never like I was like unhealthy, but I was never healthy per se. I wasn't really healthy. I was just kind of skinny because I just didn't eat a lot of food.
Right.
And I would sometimes go for a run, but I felt like I always had an extra too much fat that I wanted to get rid of. I felt like it was just hurting my self-esteem, so I'm really happy that if I can keep doing this at least, that I might be able to get rid of it. My biggest goal is I want abs. And if when I was 7, I found out what a bucket list was.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Little 7-year-old was like, okay, I'm gonna make a bucket list. And I remember some things on the bucket list. One was like to be a Power Ranger. One thing on the bucket list was to write a it was to make a one-hit wonder. Not to come out as like an amazing like singer with an amazing album. It was to be a one-hit wonder. And that was it. Oh, but the main thing was get abs. So it's been a dream of mine since I was 7.
I also have a fitness bucket list. It's not just about fitness, but there's a thing for fitness on my bucket list. Yeah. Was to do a pull-up. I think I told you today. I've never ever been able to do a pull-up.
I feel like you're close. I feel like
if I keep maybe
I think the thing that's stopping you from doing a pull-up is how big you are. Like you are
absolutely.
Yeah. Because with me, I could do a pull-up because I'm only lifting 140-ish pounds. You're lifting 200 pounds with your arms.
Right. And right now I am.
You're 200, right?
I'm 260.
260. Yeah. You're lifting 260 pounds with both your arms. That's a lot more difficult than me having to lift 140.
Right.
But
it's gonna take me a bit.
I think you'll be able to do it at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah. In any case, yes.
Hydrate.
For everyone going to the gym, keep going.
Just don't stop.
Don't stop till you get enough. Man, this is a fun topic. Anyway,
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
So with going to the gym, I've also been so fucking tired.
Dude, I'm dead right now. Like I said, I took a nap.
You
I think I
did
took a
take a
3 hour
nap.
nap. I
I
think I slept for like from three to no, from 2 to 5. Sorry, 2 to 5.
and we got to get sleep tonight because we're waking up. We're all waking up at 4:30 to go to the gym.
Go to the gym. That's right. You're coming with me.
I am, and I'm gonna meet your dad,
Ugh.
and he's gonna
You
make fun of
you
me.
already met. You already met my dad.
Yes, but like actually, you know.
Yeah. You get. You're known as the self-proclaimed best friend by him. Because like the first time you guys met, you were like, yeah,
I
I know
sarcastically
his
said,
best
"Yeah,
friend.
I'm Noah's best friend,"
Yep.
and you
Oh
haven't cleared
man.
it with him.
No.
What an ass! We're deleting the channel.
We're done. Sorry.
We're done.
I don't know how many
Um,
times we're gonna make that joke, but it's always gonna be there. Mm.
um,
Uh, so with being tired,
yes, I'm always tired. Yes,
how have you been sleeping?
I never really have a tough time sleeping. I take melatonin every night, so I tend to get to
Okay.
sleep pretty quickly. I do have nights where last night I woke up at 5:55
Hmm.
right before my alarm because my back was killing me so much. But usually as soon as I'm out, I'm out. And
Makes sense.
I'm usually a light sleeper as soon as I go to sleep or an hour before I usually wake up.
I
So
gotcha.
in between I'm a very heavy sleeper.
I am also a very heavy sleeper, but it takes me a bit to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I kind of have to focus on something else, or because if I'm trying to fall asleep, I'll be saying like sleep, gotta go to sleep, gotta go to sleep, and that in my brain will just keep going, and I won't be able to go to sleep. So I like to have the TV on.
Hmm.
Um, Usually the TV helps me fall asleep. Uh, Brenda hates it. She won't let me watch TV because it'll keep her up. So I
That's
just
the
have to
only way
sit
I
there and
fall
wait.
asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just lay in my bed and turn on a YouTube video and just wait for my eyes to get tired of watching it.
Have you ever just woken up and the YouTube videos just kept playing and you
I usually
wake
stop.
up?
Uh,
Well, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was about to say, and you wake up and you're watching like your TV has on a YouTube video, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
So, usually right before I fall asleep, whether it's a nap or actually going to bed, I get to that moment where I'm just tired. I pause the video, I turn off my TV, and I just go to bed at that point. Because at that point, I'm usually tired enough where it's like I don't need the TV anymore and I can just go to sleep. So I don't usually fall asleep and keep the video on. Because my whole thing is I feel like that's just going to wake me up in the end, and I don't want that. And it has
I
woken me
gotcha.
up. But it's happened to me a couple times in my life where I just accidentally I keep the I just fall bonkers to sleep, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I think
Uh,
I accidentally, yeah, I accidentally. What was the show? Oh, what was the show? I think I accidentally watched through like 4 episodes of an anime I was watching because I accidentally fell
oh,
asleep,
I hate
and I was
that.
like,
That's what happened with
where
me
am
and
I?
JoJo. It happened with me and JoJo. Like I would be watching it at night and then I fall asleep. That's why I kind of got sick of watching it because I really hated figuring out
Yeah,
where I was. So I would watch probably like eight episodes and then I'll say, "Hey, are you still watching this?" And clearly I'm not because I'm sleeping. So I would stop there and I don't remember which episode I was on.
yeah.
So then I would have to go back and recap and like, "All right, what did I miss?" Um, but have you ever like you were watching something in the background and you did fall asleep? Have you ever dreamt about what was happening on your TV?
Not on my TV. I remember one time. It was in 6th grade ish, and before I really entered middle school, I never really had an alarm clock. My
Okay.
dad or my mom would always wake me up. But going to high school, going to middle school, and all that, you gotta start waking up at like way earlier. You gotta start waking up at like 6 ish.
Hmm.
So I think like maybe it wasn't 6th grade, maybe it was 7th grade, but around then I was like, okay, I can't expect dad to always wake me up, and I shouldn't. So I would get an alarm clock. And one of the first things I did was I used my mom's Kindle to get an alarm clock at, and I was like, okay, let's make a sound that's cool, because I was a dumb kid that only wanted to
Yeah.
hear cool stuff. So one of the things was a laser beam. So I set it as my alarm clock for 6 a.m. and then I went to bed. And then the alarm went off and I didn't wake up because my dream was I was in a bowling alley and just lasers were going off. I was like, wow, why are there so many lasers going off? My mom woke me up being like, what the fuck is happening? Are you being invaded by aliens? And I was just like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot.
I gotta wake up. Yeah.
I didn't budge. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, that's my part of my dream. And like it kept getting louder and louder, but it's like it didn't wake me up. I was like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple times. Like where my alarm, uh, is random Dragon Ball music because I have it hooked up to my Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of the alarms that I wake up to is the Ultra Instinct theme, and
Are you telling me
pew, pew,
one time
pew,
you
pew,
went to
pew.
bed and you dreamed that you achieved Ultra
I
Instinct?
did. I did.
You became a
I
monster.
became
You
Ultra
were you were
Instinct.
just standing in your dream and you went boo boo.
It was
boo.
randomly though. I don't remember what I was dreaming about, but like
But
it
you
was
just
just
turned
randomly in
Ultra
a
Instinct.
dream, and I just went,
You just
and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so powerful!"
I did
And
it.
that's all I remember from the dream is that the Ultra Instinct theme was in my dream, and then I ended up becoming Ultra Instinct, and it I slept through my alarm, and I was so mad because I had to go to the gym, and that was one of the like the later days on when I stopped going to the gym.
Yeah, I got you.
So I was trying to go back again, and I missed it. Um, so speaking of dreams, Trey, what's an interesting dream that you have had?
So before I go into that, I have had dreams, but I feel like there's two types of people, and I need to make it. I kind of need to make this distinction because I don't know how many people are like this, but I don't dream often.
Okay.
Like, there are people that I talk to, and they talk about dreams, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I have a dream every night." And in all honesty, I dream maybe once a month max.
Once a month?
Yeah. And that's like at a max. I mean, there have been
Well,
occasions where I've had like, oh, I've had 3 nights where I had 3 dreams in a row. Those are really nice nights, by the way. But it's like, I don't remember most of my dreams because I don't have a lot. Like,
well, you're always technically dream. It's just
yeah,
you don't really
but
remember the dream.
what I'm thinking is happening is I'm going to bed and I wake up and I just forgot everything I dreamed about. Like that happens a lot to people where they just wake up and they forget everything that happened in their dream. That's what I'm
When I do remember a dream, I try instantly to write it down so that way
hmm
I don't forget. Because you will forget eventually.
That
And the
was
ones that I have written down, I have never forgot ever.
what I remember I had a pen pal that I was talking to for a little bit. She was a lucid dreamer, which I still don't understand how that's possible, but she basically
I
said,
did it.
"You did it?"
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Yeah, she basically
I'll
said
let you continue the story and then
well,
I'll
she
tell mine.
basically just said that it's like the best way to really get started a lucid dream is to start writing down all your dreams. And
It helps. Um, my dad's friend taught me a technique on how to lucid dream, and I've never used it. Like I tried, and it just takes way too much commitment to do. Like he would say like every time at 2 o'clock, or like every time when you go to a certain class in your high school, go like this. Take your finger to your palm and touch it.
every
Every time
time at a
at an
specific
exact
class, yeah.
a specific time, specific class, anything. Just take your hand, take your finger, and touch it. If your finger goes through, that's how you know you're dreaming.
Shit.
So he taught me how to do that, and then also another one. He wrote a book all about it. He also teaches classes how to lucid dream, which is pretty cool. Um, when you go to bed, cross your legs and kind of hook your feet and hook your your thumbs, put them on your chest, and try and fall asleep that way. It's hard. I've done it once. It's very hard. It
Yeah,
takes
you gotta
so
be
much
like
commitment.
tired.
Right, and your body, your mind will tell you, "Oh my God, there's something on your face." Itch it, but you
Yeah.
can't move. You have to be so committed. So that way, when you do fall asleep, you will still technically be like this, but your dream self won't. So you will recognize that, like, hey, I'm dreaming now, type of thing. It's very cool. But the
Yeah.
one time I did lucid dream, I did it twice, I remember. So basically, when I lucid dreamed, I was living at my grandmother's, and it was summer. So
Ah,
I had
yes.
a dream that I was in school again. And it took me a while. I was following through with the dream. I was at the desk and everything. There was my teacher. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. This like it's July. I don't have school. I was like, this has to be a dream. So once I said that, it was all over. Like I had complete control of my dream. Like I'll be like, all right, if this is a dream, I can make a ball fly through the door, and sure as shit, a beach ball like bounced into the door into the room. And I'm like, this is weird. And then I was like, all right, the ball's gonna go out the window. It goes out the window, like then it just
Yeah.
the window opens up somehow and it goes out the window. I'm like, okay. Um, I get, and then the next thing you know, because my whole dream was filled with like kids and stuff that I went to school with. The next thing I looked around and nobody else was there. It was just me. So I'm like, cool. So then I jumped out the window and I ended up flying. I don't remember where I flew to. I just remember I jumped out the window and it was a bright blue sky with clouds everywhere.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
was I was just like flying around and doing my thing. I remember I lost my train of thought and I forgot that I was in a dream.
So then you had to go back.
Instantly, I started falling.
My
Instant.
God.
It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, wait. I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. I can do anything. I can do anything. And I was like 2 inches off the ground, and I caught myself. But the thing is that your brain is always trying to trick you into thinking that you're in a dream.
Yeah.
So you, so basically, it made me think that I was in a dream, and but that was my dream, was that I was in a dream. So it's so confusing. So other times, like there was a different time where I had a dream inside of a dream. Well, those tropes like in movies when they wake up like, oh, that was a
Yeah.
nightmare, like in Shrek,
Ah,
the
yeah.
Shrek the Third, and when he was having a dream about
As
having kids,
babies,
right?
yeah.
Right. And he wakes up, he's like, oh man, and then he looks to Fiona, and Fiona's like a baby or whatever, and he's like, and then he wakes up from that dream. That has happened to me a couple times, and it scared the shit out of me, like because I don't know, you don't know
Yeah,
until
exactly.
after. Um, yeah, I don't remember the other time I lucid dreamed. Um, I know I did it before, but that one was so. I remember it so well because that was the very first time I lucid dreamed, and I'll probably never forget it. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and I'm very proud to say that I have lucid dreamed before. Um, I also learned how to decipher dreams because you can tell what you're thinking or what your stresses are, and how you are truly feeling within a dream.
So, I don't remember most of my dreams. To be honest, there's not a lot when it comes to topics about dreams. I'm not that fun because I don't have a lot to talk about. I only have mainly one dream that I remember very, very well, and it was the
Hit me.
first and only nightmare I have ever had.
Hit me.
So, and I'm gonna tell you this, and it's gonna sound goofy and funny because it really is goofy and funny. But at the moment, I was so scared. So
Okay.
there must have been stuff that happened before, like where I remember the dream. But basically, where I remember the dream, I was in a car. But and to give you context, I'm in ninth grade. I'm a freshman.
Okay.
I was in a random car, never been in the car before, and next to me was this guy who is like, if you could think of the word pedophile and then put a person to that, and that's who he was. It's like as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, this guy's a pedophile. But at the time, I was in high school and I was feeling like I was indestructible. I was like, okay, if something bad happens, I just have to fight my way through it. And it was like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to jump out of the car. And I tried to open the car. It didn't open. I was like, oh. I was like, okay, I guess I just gotta fight off this pedophile. How strong can he be? And I think, from what I remember, he grabbed my arm. I remember I just couldn't get it out of his wrist. And I was like, this guy's stronger than me. I'm gonna get molested. And I remember I was just so heated. And then somehow I got out of the car and I got home. And I was like, oh, finally, I got away from that pedophile. And then what I found out is the house next door to mine in this dream, he was moving into it.
Oh my
And
god.
I was like trying to tell him, and he was starting to try to come over. Like there was like a fence in my yard, and he was trying to get over the fence. I was telling my mom and dad, I was like, Mom, that guy's a fucking pedophile. And then he was like, yeah, I'm a pedophile. And then they just started laughing. And I was like, what the fuck? Don't let this guy in. And he was like, he had like a whole family that were all just pedophiles. And they were just starting to like starting to get over the fence. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. My mom and dad don't believe me.
That's terrifying.
And then I woke up.
Oh my
And
God.
I
How
just
old were you?
I was in ninth grade.
Okay.
So that's 6 years ago. So I was about 14-ish. I just remember I woke up, probably 15. I just remember I woke up and I was just like, fuck. Like it was just like, it really just brought me down to earth. I was like, God, why'd I have that? So Mr. Dream Reader, what's my dream about? Do I have a chronic fear of pedophiles? Am
You
I
might.
a pedophile?
You might. I don't know. You
What do you glean from it?
gleam. What do I gleam? That's a
Gleam.
weird word. So yeah, I think you do have a fear of pedophiles. That would probably be the first thing, because why else would you be scared of one? Or
I don't, and that's what was weirding me out. Like, to be honest, and we talked about this a year ago in in the first podcast. Basically, like, I don't really have a fear per se.
yeah, it just might be a genuine fear, because everybody has genuine fears.
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Like,
if
I don't want to
somebody-
get
you
fucking
are
shot
afraid.
by a gun, but
Exactly.
I'm not gonna have gun phobia.
I honestly don't know, because I know how my brain works, like almost to a T.
I don't know how. I never know, and I never will know.
But like I can decipher one of my dreams. One of the dreams I could just not decipher though. It was a wacky dream, and I had a dream that I was at Bass Pro with my dad, and one of the stuffed moose came alive and started chasing us around the store. It was crazy. It was a crazy dream. I also have a nightmare though that's kind of wacky.
You go ahead.
So I don't know if you remember. I don't even know if I'm remembering this correctly. But there was a Kraft mac and cheese commercial that was in like a complete like cheese world.
I think you told me about this, but keep going.
So, so in this cheese world, there's a river, and I was probably around I was maybe like 5-ish. Um, and the dream was that me and my family all got stuck on this macaroni made raft, and we were stuck in this cheese world. And there was a river of flowing cheese, and then the the cheese river comes to an end at a waterfall, and
Not the cheese fall.
we all got off of the river and the raft, except for my mom, and my mom ended up going over the cheese waterfall, and she died. I woke up bawling my eyes out because
It's
my mom
horrible.
died. I was terrified. I honestly don't know.
You see, I completely understand it. You have a chronic fear of cheese.
Cheese, yes.
Cheesy.
Cheesy.
No, I couldn't understand. You're gonna have to meet. I feel like both of us at one point in our
Maybe a
life. Oh,
Velveeta
sorry.
commercial.
Oh, do you think you can find the commercial?
That's what I'm trying. I don't know.
Cheese World, basically. Well, what we should probably do in our lives, if we ever get the
What's that?
chance, is we should go to like something that's like a professional like dream reader, and just tell them about it. Because I am very curious about what that meant. Like it probably is different now because I've changed, of course, in 6
Right.
years. But it's like I would just be so curious to be like, what would that mean? Ugh.
You probably have a fear of pedophiles. I don't know.
I probably have a chronic fear of
Which is a
pedophiles.
which is a reasonable fear.
Yeah, I could have seen that. It was also probably a thing. Now that I think about it, it might have been at the time I was trying to like pretend I was cool and like nothing could stop me. It could have been because the main thing I remember about it was I felt like I couldn't do anything. It was probably my subconscious telling me it's like, look, you can act all tough as you want, but you have your limits. So I wonder if it was something like
Getting
that.
scarier out there.
Yeah, exactly. That it's like there's only so much you can do.
Speaking of so much you can do, have you ever had a fear of like you try to yell and you can't? And or like you try and run away from something or punch something, and when you go to punch something, you punch it with all your might, but when you go through with it, it
Yeah, it
feels
does
like you
nothing.
didn't. But yeah, it
I
doesn't
think
do
I've had two
anything.
dreams like that. I've also in my life have tried to scream and I couldn't do anything. I was
Yeah,
because I was part of musicals, so there would be moments where I literally broke my voice and I couldn't talk for a day.
I gotcha. Do you know why that is?
What do you mean?
Like why like you go to scream and nothing comes out, or like
Like in
when
real
you
life or in
in
dreams?
dreaming.
Because I feel like that's probably the biggest fear a person can have. And in your dream, really, you're not you're not talking. There is no sound coming in your dream. It's all just made up crap. So technically, if you did scream in your dream, you're not screaming actually. I mean, there are people
So
that like talk in their sleep, yeah, but in reality, most people stay silent when they're asleep. So if you talk in your dream and you're doing stuff in your dream, you're not making noises. So
so
I
I
feel
took
like
a
I feel like that's kind of like almost like a realization. It's like that's so scary because you're realizing it's like, oh, I can't. I'm not doing anything.
right. So you are close. You are very close to why um
Oh,
you
there was an
don't.
answer to this
Yeah,
question.
there was an answer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're very close. So I took a psychology class in college, and
You did go to
actually
college.
and I also took a psychology class in high school, and one of the topics or one of the lessons was about dreams, and basically what it is your brain has a limiter when you're sleeping. So let's say you there's like a gland or whatever in your brain, I can't remember, or a part of your brain that literally limits you while you're sleeping, and it stops you from yelling while you're sleeping. It
Yeah.
stops you from, when you're running in your sleep, it stops you from running. And once you hit a certain point while you're dreaming or while you're sleeping, this part of your brain turns on,
Yeah.
and it will limit you on what you can do. That's why when you're dreaming and you're in a nightmare, you try and scream and you can't. It's because you can't. Your brain is telling you to no. Some people don't have that limiter though, like, or they'll break it type of thing. where they will scream in their dream, or they will run while they're sleeping, like
Yeah.
dogs. I don't think dogs don't have that limiter. That's why
No,
dogs
yeah.
always bark and always like full out run while they're sleeping. But that is why you literally can't scream when you're dreaming. That's also why people have sleep paralysis.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever had a sleep paralysis demon?
I have, and it was terrifying.
What was it like?
Well,
I've never had one.
so I'm gonna explain what sleep paralysis is first, and
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
in case somebody doesn't know. Um, so sleep paralysis is when you wake up and your body isn't awake yet. Your brain's awake. The thing is that limiter is still turned on. So like a sudden wake up, your body won't turn on right away. It's just your brain. So the part of your brain will still be off, and you can't do anything because your limiter's on, right? Um, so when that happens, it's called sleep paralysis, and your paranoia and uh, your fears kind of manifest because you personally don't know what's happening. You have no idea what's going on, um, and it's kind of scary. You not being able to move your body, it's terrifying actually. And so when that happens, your subconscious takes a form called the sleep paralysis demon, and which some people have it if they do have sleep paralysis. The one time I did experience it was um, I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't move. You can like I was sleeping like this, and I couldn't. I was telling my arm to move. Nothing was happening. I was like yelling at myself. I can't talk. My mouth's open like this, just breathing. I can only move my eyes around. I couldn't lift up my head. I had no strength, no power whatsoever, and my sleep paralysis demon, um, what it was doing when I woke up was I felt like it was holding me down. Like there was something in the middle in my face, and it had like red eyes, and it was just holding me down. So that was my one experience. I was like having a panic attack, and I just closed my eyes, and I was just trying to breathe, trying to get control of my body again, trying to fall back asleep. Um, but that experience was terrifying. It happens to me every once in a while, sleep paralysis, but I know exactly what it is now,
Yeah.
like exactly. So it doesn't bother me. I honestly take advantage of it. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's really bad when you have a bad dream though, because you try and move and try and get up
Yeah.
and try and wake up, and your body just doesn't let you.
It's terrifying. I mean,
It,
just from you to explain that just sounds horrifying.
yeah, it was terrifying. Yeah.
Pause real
So
quick.
you haven't had sleep paralysis?
No, I have not had sleep paralysis. I'm
Most
not.
people tend to have it at least
I'm
once in
I'm
their life.
not. I'm not a cool guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't lucid dream, no sleep paralysis.
Yeah,
Get out
I
of here.
barely have dreams in general. It's a little off topic, but it's not. So dreams, in a way, are basically just simulations we put ourselves in our head. Can we kind of agree?
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now I kind of want to talk about simulations for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Do you think we're in a simulation, Noah? And does that ever scare you? Like, do you ever have a moment where it's like, fuck, am I in a simulation? Because I know that's a big fear on a lot of people.
The thing is that it's not entirely impossible.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest fear. It's like you can't
That's
really
the thing.
disprove.
Yeah, I was just about to say you can't disprove it. So it is kind of scary, but at the same time, like, so what? So what if we're in a simulation? Like it's not going to affect the outcome that we're going to have in life.
Now, would you believe in a simulation where it's like, because there's two ways to look at a simulation. There's the one way, which is full out Matrix, which is
Right.
people are put into like basically bubbles, and they're brought through Earth. And then there's another type of simulation where it's like you're the only sentient being and everything else was constructed around you. I
Yeah,
think the latter is more scary than the Matrix.
Definitely.
Yes.
Because knowing that you're alone
Exactly.
is terrifying.
But I also don't believe in that.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
feel like that's almost impossible. Like for a while, I was actually kind of scared about that. Like there was a point in my life where I was just like, "Oh fuck, what if I really am the only guy thinking in this? They're all just fake people made for me." And the guy who helped me was Game Grumps' Dan. He helped me a lot
Okay.
because in Game Grumps it's Dan and Aaron. Aaron had the same fear, and he was like, how do I get over this? And dad was like, fuck you, I'm not a side character. I'm the main character in my life. And I was like, because it's like, it made me realize it's like, I'm really not the main character in the world.
Right.
I am just a character. I'm a main character in my life, but that's it.
Right. The I when I was younger, I used to think that we all lived in a video game and somebody was playing as me.
But that'd be so awesome, though.
No, it's not, because you have no free will. Somebody else is
Yeah,
controlling
but who
you.
gives
So
a shit?
I would when I would go in the shower, I would always cover up my like junk. 'Cause I just didn't know.
Yeah,
And
to
also,
censor.
I thought that God was looking at me, stuff like that, and I just didn't like that. So
Oh, that's great.
it it, it scared me. And then after a while, I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way.
There's
It's
no
not
way.
possible." Oh my God! But also, when I was younger, I had an Xbox, an original Xbox, and I thought, okay, here's my genius thinking. I thought if I took Spider-Man the game, the Ultimate Spider-Man the game, which is one of my favorite games of all time, and Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, and put them in the system together, I would be able to play as Spider-Man in
It's Scooby
Scooby-Doo.
Doo.
The games would just fuse.
Did it work?
No, it didn't. It just said, take the other disc out now.
Man, I want to play Spider Man Scooby Doo.
Oh my God. Speaking of Scooby Doo, Frank gave me that game, which was the Scooby Doo game that I played as a childhood, like in my childhood, and I really want to play it again.
I
But I'm
remember.
scared to. I'm so scared to because I don't want like my awesome memories to be just crushed. I remember that game as an amazing game.
I
It's
remember I have a
so much
Scooby Doo
fun.
Game Boy game. I'd have to look in my Game Boy collection, but I think I have a Scooby Doo one. It was
I had
kind
a
of
Monster House video game.
it was two games in one cartridge. It was one weird Scooby Doo game and one based on Cyber Chase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what's new Scooby Doo? That
Did
that
you ever watch the
Cyberchase?
movie Scooby Doo Cyber Chase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're in the game, right? They're in the
Yeah.
video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're finding the
The bad
villain,
guy. Yeah.
the bad guy in the video game, and
Yeah,
they like go
Static
to
Shock.
yeah, they go to different places like the carnival and then the arcade and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a very cool movie or episode. I don't know if it was which
It
one
was
it
a
was.
movie. It was a movie.
Damn, Scooby Doo.
I love Scooby Doo.
Good
And
time
that's a topic
for
for another day. But Noah, I have one
Yeah.
question for you.
Huh?
What would you say if I said that I was your sleep paralysis demon?